you're not communicating the right messaging through your digital identity, then you're missing out on opportunities, because we are entering this new stage where verification is going to happen and where trust is built. When you go on someone's website, that as seen on bar, it is for us within 10 seconds to verify, oh, you have been verified by someone else within our fields.
Today we are exploring the difference between being an expert and being a recognized leader. In 2026, talent alone isn't enough. You need the visibility to match your value.
Getting outside your comfort zone is such a big part of overcoming imposter syndrome, because if you're not in the arena doing the work, putting yourself out there,
Hi, this is Kripa Anand, and welcome to the She and Success podcast, powered by She and Success Business Magazine, a platform dedicated to spotlighting the voices, strategies, and journeys of women leaders and entrepreneurs who are shaping Canada's business and policy landscape. Today, we are exploring the difference between being an expert and being a recognized leader. In 2026, talent alone isn't enough. You need the visibility to match your value. Joining us today is Dan Shaikh, a brand visibility expert and award-winning publicist for changemakers. He co-founded Speaker Slam, North America's largest inspirational speaking competition, which is now celebrating its 10th anniversary season. From being named one of Canada's top 25 immigrants to landing speakers on major networks like CTV and CBC, Dan knows exactly what it takes to break through the noise. So before further ado, let's welcome this special guest. Dan, welcome to the podcast. Such a pleasure to have you with us.
thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
So am I. Now, Dan is here for this episode for the he for she perspective, right? So let's start the conversation by understanding. I'm sure you have some amazing, beautiful women in your life, right? So, what does, being feminine or the importance of women in your life mean to you overall?
Honestly, my business partner, Rena Rovinelli, she was the true anchor in my life that really pivoted me forward. Obviously, my
Yeah.
parents, my mom, like
Yes.
all that's there. But Rena Rovinelli, she showed me a new path of communication. She was one of the strongest communicators I ever met. So the way my story really comes together is I started off in Toastmasters.
Yeah.
And there I was this shy immigrant trying to find my voice. And I met so many people through that were also working towards that. But Rena was this very successful woman that was on the Dragon's Den. She pitched her business, and she was just because of the recession, she just found herself in a different spot.
Yeah.
And when I connected with her communication skills of how you can communicate emotions really taught me the power of being able to communicate your thoughts and feelings in a way that can really make people understand you and feel you.
Wow. So I'm sure it was like an angel that was sent in your
Yeah,
way, right?
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. So I'm sure you've come across, so many speakers. When it comes to male speakers and women speakers, what do you think is that one edge that women speakers have, or, one thing that they might be better at that, male speakers?
Vulnerability, their ability to get right into the story, and connect the emotions, because we're all looking to be connected with emotions.
Right.
And women are really great at that. And that has really, we've gotten some amazing speeches out of that,
Yeah.
that have gone viral.
Right.
And so it can be very powerful when you can bring people into a story.
The conviction, right?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Now, Dan, you've seen thousands of people, try to build a personal brand, but you argue that most people are getting the core concept completely wrong. So let's start by understanding, what does personal branding actually mean in today's market, and why is there such a huge gap being good at what you do and being visible for what you do? So where's the gap?
So if I Google you, what shows up? That to me is personal branding in a nutshell. Because if we can break that down, it's what's showing up. And that is what people are taking in. So if you're not communicating the right messaging through your digital identity, then you're missing out on opportunities because AI, in this new age of AI, it can create emails, it can create websites, it can create photos, videos of you. So at this point, we are entering this new stage where verification is going to happen and where trust is built. So Google and eventually AI search is going to be a thing. Those are going to be the modalities that people are finding you on. So you want to be able to create your digital identity and focus on that.
Very interesting. I think true leadership isn't just about your internal skills, right? It's also about how effectively you project your authority in front of others. That makes the entire difference. That's amazing. Now, moving ahead, let's explore building credibility from nothing, from zero. So, how can someone build high level social proof and credibility when they are starting from zero and no one in the industry knows who they are? A very common thing that people say, and that actually works also, is networking, right? But what apart from going ahead and saying hellos, the follow ups, the consistency, what is your secret sauce for it?
So I always go back to if I Google you, what shows up, and you have to be able to control the narrative, right? Like you have to be showing up within the systems that people are searching upon. So my biggest tips are have a website. If you don't have a personal website, you're missing out because Google, AI, everything is pulling from that as a source. So if you can control that from the very beginning, then your personal brand is showing up. The number one mistake I see with a lot of entrepreneurs, professionals, is that their business brand and their personal brand is intertwined. And so you never get a chance to see the messaging of who the person behind the business is. And that is so much more important because we connect with humans, that personal connection. And so that is so important. So having that personal website, owning your social media identity. So one handle, own it on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, everywhere, because the moment someone else takes that identity, now they're controlling your messaging, and that gets very confusing for the algorithms to even understand who you are, and for general people who are going to be searching things up. So that is so key. And then third-party validation. That is the next key part of that. So, you have to build a professional brand. You have to put your best foot forward. And so once you do that, you need other, like, let's say, for example, you work at a university. Well, that university page has an educator page, right? You should be featured there. That validates to me that you are that professor. So thinking of it in that manner, in the age of AI, that verification is so important because that's how information is being pulled.
Definitely. I think that's very well articulated, firstly, and that's a very strategic way of thinking about it, right? I think leveraging small wins into a system of credibility signals is the fastest way to, bridge the gap from unknown to expert. So thank you so much for your insights on that, Dan. Now, let's look at turning visibility into a consistent system. So, how do you determine if someone is actually ready for, major media coverage versus when they need to spend more time building their foundation first? And I'm sure you come across different people at different stages in their journeys, right? So, from your extensive experience, how exactly do you navigate that journey?
So again, I go back to if I Google you, what shows up, because that is such a precursor to everything, right? And within that aspect to it is, do you have other videos of you speaking? Is there a way for that decision maker to see you under pressure? Have you been verified by other people, other producers that have seen you? And that is why when you go on someone's website and you see that as seen on bar, what is that for? It is for us within 10 seconds to verify, oh, you have been verified by someone else within our fields.
There's this psychological trust, right?
Exactly. And again, we're bombarded with information. We are in the information age. We are seeing so much information. To make decisions fast, you have to be able to have what I like to think of as trust factors.
Yeah.
Those trust factors go a long way.
Hmm.
Even what I've noticed is, as social media has evolved, if someone follows you randomly on Instagram, for example, what's the first things you do to scope out if this person is someone you know, someone you can trust? It's micro moments of trust of you look at probably mutual friends.
Mutuals, yes.
Exactly,
A
right?
bio, right?
Ex-
Or if it's trustworthy, right, or not, yeah.
Exactly. And those are the metrics that, like, oh, I will follow this person back, allow this person into my network, into my world. And those are the moments that, like, we have to start focusing on, because if someone is connected with you, I'm like, oh, they're in her world.
Yeah.
So I'm more likely to be friends with that person.
Right.
Versus if I don't know you, I'm like, are you a bot? Like,
That's
are
so
you
true.
Yeah.
You're entering someone else's world, right? So
Yeah.
makes complete sense. I think aligning your visibility system with your current stage of growth ensures you don't waste, big opportunities before your brand is even ready to, handle them. So it has to be that perfect moment that you help everyone navigate. So kudos to you for everything that you've been doing as well.
Thank you.
To the change makers and founders watching, in 2026, your story is your most powerful asset, but only if people hear it. Speaker Slam is currently in its 10th anniversary season, and they're heading to the Grand Slam finals at the CBC Glen studio this November. With the prize for up to $50,000 on the line, this is the ultimate platform to turn your message into a movement. If you've been waiting for the right time to share your story, the time is now. Visit speakerslam.org to see how you can move from the sidelines to the spotlight. Don't stay invisible in an industry that needs your voice. All right, it's time for a quick break right here, but don't go anywhere, because up next we're uncovering what truly separates those who break through from the ones who stay stuck. Stay tuned.
At Purolator, we understand the importance of every delivery, whether it's a document, a special gift, a critical healthcare shipment, or an entire warehouse worth of inventory. Throughout our more than 60-year history, we've honed our expertise to build out a powerful portfolio of logistics services that enable us to deliver on every promise. Whether shipping across town or around the globe, from small and medium-sized businesses to industrial, technology, retail, and healthcare sectors, Purolator serves a diverse array of customers. So no matter what, where, or when you're shipping, Purolator's expertise, experience, and innovative solutions enable us to deliver on your promises.
Welcome back, listeners. Let's jump right in and break down what it really takes to stand out and own your space as a leader. Now, moving ahead, Dan, let's explore what separates those who break through. After seeing so many speakers, what is the one thing that, truly separates the one who, break through and land TEDx talks, from the ones who still stay stagnant, not to discourage anyone but what's your take on it?
So earlier you mentioned leverage, and that is such a key part of everything. People think once you get that first win, then opportunities are just going to come to you. That's not how it works. Leverage that the last win to get the next win. And so the people that I've seen again and again that have been a part of Speaker Slam success, that have gone on from taking the win on stage to then getting national media attention, to getting, becoming faces of movements. That is, it's taking that one win, getting the next win.
Yeah.
And that might just be getting featured in a magazine. It might be getting featured, getting on stage, and getting a video clip of that, right? Because you have to be able to show social proof along the way. And all these things, when combined together, lead for a person's success to happen. And so witnessing that, momentum is everything. You got to keep building on that and get that momentum.
That's amazing. So when you see all those people that, you initially discovered the talent first and then go on to, all these big news channels and, national places, I'm sure you must feel very proud, right? So what is that first thought that comes to you? I knew it. Is that something that goes on your mind as well?
Oh, for sure. We've given a platform for 1,000 speakers to take
Yeah.
that stage, right? And the best part is when they were scared to share that story that they've been hiding, and they share it, and then there's people that are messaging and leaving comments on their videos. Oh my God, like my son is going through that same issue. Like I've been hiding this personally. Those moments are what make me feel the best because um, that is knowing that that one speech had a ripple effect and an impact on someone else all over from like the different part of a world that these types of stories are not like heard of. And that is where the power lies, where I feel like impact is possible because how can you take one platform and have an impact on so many people? That's what I'm always trying to figure out.
Great insights there as well. I'm loving this conversation, and definitely I'd love for you to be back, where we can dive into such deeper conversations again. But for now, Dan, before we let you go, if there's one final piece of advice that you have for, women who feel completely invisible in the industry right now, if you could whisper one thing into their ear, what would you say and why?
Take risks. Getting outside your comfort zone is such a big part of overcoming imposter syndrome, overcoming confidence issues. Because if you're not in the arena doing the work, putting yourself out there, well, then you will be invisible. And that is the biggest thing I can say is, outside of just the strategies of showing up visibly, put yourself in situations where you're in front of the room and take those risks. And if you're not ready, well, then put yourselves in rooms where you're being trained and ready for that moment. And that's the stuff that I would say.
That's a golden advice right there. And funny how you mentioned imposter syndrome, right? We could do another series about that in detail. But again, Dan, it was such a pleasure having you on the podcast. Thank you so much for doing this for us.
Of course. Thank you so much, Kripa.
All right, that was Dan Shaikh from Speaker Slam, a masterclass in building social proof, mastering the visibility system, and how to show up as a leader in your industry in 2026. To all the listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to the She and Success podcast, powered by She and Success Business Magazine. Be sure to subscribe for more expert insights and visit sheandsuccess.ca for more such resources. And lastly, a very special thank you to our exclusive shipping partner, Purolator, for their ongoing commitment to supporting women entrepreneurs and helping them build, grow, and lead successful businesses across Canada. I'll see you all in the next episode. Kripa Anand signing off.